Okay. I can still remember the first time I sat in this room. Before I was a freshman, before I was looking at high schools, before I even had anything at all to say for my future. I came here to see a musical. My family and I came on the last night of Kiss Me Kate. I was entirely entranced by the show. The meeting house was jammed with adoring fans who cheered at every kiss and drew in deep breaths at sad moments. All eyes on stage. At the end, the girl who played Kate asked the audience to stay a little longer, and I experienced my first rose ceremony honoring the seniors in the show. It went on for a little while, hard for my 11-year-old self to totally enjoy, but everyone else seemed completely satisfied to listen to what the cast members had to say about each other. A few years down the line, when I decided to come to Friends for high school, I attended my first silent meeting in this room. Silent meeting currently means the world to me. It's where I can clear my mind and reflect in silence in a crowded room of peers. It's, without a doubt, one of the top 3 things I love most about this school. But the first time I sat in silence, I freaked out. I thought that everyone could hear my every breath. I even remember monitoring my breathing, trying to breathe as little as possible, all the while avoiding eye contact with anyone, especially the towering seniors, gods of the universe in front of me. I know now that although, yes, the room is silent enough to hear a pin drop, or more realistically, a stomach grumbling, no one is listening to you breathing, more so than silence. The room is full of thought. Once I started to get more comfortable in meeting, instead of avoiding eye contact, I searched for it. I began looking at everyone's faces and seeing what I could learn about them just from their expressions. Sounds creepy, but really I was just making sure that I knew my peers, which is something I'd say I've been relatively successful at doing. And it's not at every school that you can say that. In meeting, not only can I see them, but I can hear what they have to say. Every time someone stands up to speak, the community gets a little tighter, and every now and then, a message really catches me off guard, grabs my attention. When we were freshmen, a junior spoke about an awful interaction she had with a stranger. A woman cursed at her for no other reason than her race, and it made enough of an impact for her to cry in meeting. The silence of the room felt silent, for real, for once. And as I looked around, I saw more and more people with tears in their eyes. I saw my teachers with tears in their eyes. And it hit me then that people were actually listening to us. Not only our friends, not only the other students, but also the teachers and the administration. Everyone in the room was really listening. It was this breakthrough moment when all of a sudden, we weren't insignificant. Our messages were heard, and they mattered. As well they should, because for everything I've learned in the classroom from my brilliant teachers, I've learned just as much, or more even, from the people sitting right here. I'd go so far as to say that collectively, we know everything, almost. Well, some of us play 2,700 instruments and are learning the banjo, sing like angels, write weird but fantastic plays, films, novels, paint eyes that can actually blink at you, build rocket ships on the weekends, get called into Washington just to chat with Obama, get every ball ever to swoosh through the hoop, and still manage to catch a wink. I mean, once we get into the world, I have a good feeling that things will not be the same. Beyond that, it's good to know that whenever I'm with any of you, I'm bound to have a good conversation. Every Thursday, we have an opportunity to delve deep into the world of feminism. And in general, people aren't afraid to talk about the big, scary, important stuff. I mean, anything. Really, what I found is that Friends students tend to find ways to talk about super inappropriate things whenever possible. In any given hallway, club, or classroom conversation, I've talked about sexism, racism, religion, rape, sexual orientation, scandalous clothing choices, nature versus nurture, carbon footprints, the perfect cookie, the Knicks, everything. And people listen. And as soon as I learned that one fact, I started using the meeting house to its full effect. No, I didn't stand up immediately. The idea of standing to speak absolutely horrified me up until this year, but I did start thinking. People often ask me how it's possible that I am so happy all the time. Well, to that, I always laugh and say that I'm not, which is true. I'm not always happy. Who is? But I remember sitting in meeting one day and thinking maybe I had figured it all out. I'm not by any means the first to say this, and I think it only really works when you find it for yourself. But to be happy, I think you just have to let yourself be happy. Happiness is entirely of the mind, so in moments when my happiness quivers, I question why. I look and see what I have to be upset about. Well, of course, I have the long papers and the late nights, but I also have a wonderful family, a supportive community, this city, this school, and a whole lot of time ahead of me. And you're thinking, who is this girl and why does she think she has any right to give advice? Well, I agree. But I do know, as do we all, that life doesn't stop, time doesn't stop. You blink and 4 years go by, and all of a sudden, that incredible fear to speak candidly in front of people sort of melts away. You blink, and those kids who you once only knew by the look on their faces are now your best friends, your teachers, and your family. If you let the small things get you down, you blink, and those 4 years of happiness are in the past. So I let the good outweigh the bad, and I push all those darker moments away. I don't think you need this advice, though, because what I found is that all in all, we're a pretty happy grade. At least you keep me happy. And although we may have blinked, we were smiling all the while. So this is a place for listening, and I'm so incredibly proud that I got to sit in this room and hear your complaints and your nostalgia and thoughts on life, love, growing up, fears, hear your music and your pain. It's been beautiful. You guys inspire me to reflect and to be better. Thank you all for listening to me, for your endless shoulders to lean on, and hugs and compassion. And thank you for letting me listen.